Hi guys, and welcome to this tutorial about how to plan using Excel and Calendar. There are two types of planning. One is time restricted and one is non-time restricted. The time restricted planning is a detailed planning per day, including specific times. For example, a work day with lots of meetings or classes. To plan this, you can use a calendar app such as Microsoft Outlook Calendar to make meetings and possibly invite people. For a non-restricted planning, you're looking at a general planning per day or week, for example, during days off or on slow days. For this, you can use a calendar app such as Microsoft Outlook Calendar to block a certain time and an Excel weekly overview or to-do list for more details. I will demonstrate how to get to Microsoft Outlook Calendar, how to make a meeting, and how to invite people to a meeting. Okay, so what you can do is go to Outlook. You can download the app or you can go online, doesn't matter. Here on the left hand side you can see this icon, Calendar, and here you will see your calendar. You can make appointments and readjust all of your appointments that are already there. However, we've been working through Teams a lot, so that's where I'll show you. But it basically works the same way. You select a time in which you want to make a new meeting, and then you give it a name. Hey, presenter. Ta-da! So, how does this work in Teams? It works exactly the same way, and the two correspond as well. So here on the left-hand side, you go to Agenda or Calendar, whatever it is called, and here you will be able to see your weekly planning. So let's say I want to make a new meeting here in Teams. Now I've already shown you how to do that, but I'll show you again. You select the time just by clicking on it and then pressing down on the mouse button and dragging down. Then, hey, a new meeting. I'm going to start a new meeting. Hello. Then maybe I want to invite some people. Maybe I want to invite Ilse. And I want to invite Mark, and I want to invite Peter, because I'm going to talk about, just discovered, Expedition Leisure that we are working on. I can add a channel. We have a specific channel for this, and then maybe here I want to talk about the agenda for the meeting. And since I'm very structured, I like to make bullet points and say blah blah blah, and then we'll talk some more about all of these things, blah blah blah. Obviously I don't need a location, there's a time and a date, there's people, yes, we're all good to go, and then I press send. Now this is a time restricted and very detailed planning with meetings that I have next week, which have a definitive starting and ending time. However, there are also blocks that I have reserved for other things that are less detailed. For example, to read portfolios, to grade emails, feedback moments, walking the dog, working on semester expedition, and the hello that I've just created. Other meetings are more specific and I know exactly what to do. For example, the pitch test or a tutor meeting. So for the meetings that are very specific, I don't need to add any information in Excel because I already know what to do. However, for other blocks that I've reserved, such as grade emails, I might want to specify further, and there I use Excel. I will demonstrate in Microsoft Excel how to make a weekly overview and how to make a to-do list. For example, I've just made this weekly planning with things to do that do not require a certain time. Now, how have I done this? I will show you. I have selected a few columns and I have added borders, all borders. Then I've typed all the names of the days. Tuesday, blah blah blah. You can type this, but I'm lazy, so I'm going to copy and paste. And then I thought of maybe personal things that I need to do, school related stuff and projects. Now I have an extra column left, which I don't need, so I'm going to delete that. Then on Monday I'm having breakfast with Susan. So I'm not having breakfast with Susan, but I just needed to come up with stuff. On Friday I'm doing the weekly groceries. On Saturday I'll FaceTime with friends, whatever. So you just type in the general things that you want to do that day. And there's not really a time constricted. Obviously, you'll have to set a time with your friends to go online. But the weekly groceries, you can do that in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever you want to. And in your calendar, you have blocked a whole day in which you will do these things. Now, maybe you will have atelier on Tuesday and Thursday. Atelier. And maybe as a project you're working on the study start week, and you'll do that on Wednesday. Now, because I love colors, I've added colors. So what you do is you select the cells and then you just give them a color, like so. Very easy. Maybe some of this and some blues. Now, so this looks very color coordinated. And what I like is when you scroll up, you can still see the days. How you do that is you go to View, and then you say Freeze Top Row. Pa-dam! Alright, however, this is still somewhat a non-detailed overview of what you want to do that week. So this would be fine if, say, it's a holiday and you don't really feel like using your calendar because you don't want to use the work or school related apps. However, I prefer working with a deadline to-do list. And for this, I've made this as an example. How do you do this? Exactly the same. Select some cells, you give them borders, you say component, action, and then a deadline for a day and a time. Then you add all of the things that you have to do. So whenever something comes up, you think, oh, I have to do that. You can just, fill it up, sort of make a web lecture. I need to do that, and I don't know when, but I'll fill it out later. And again, what you want is when you scroll down or up, the top row stays there. I'll just delete this because we're done with that. The example. So I want this to stay there. Again, delete. So again, I go to View and I freeze the top row, and there you go. However, sometimes when it's a very detailed overview, you want to be able to do this, but you also want to be able to scroll left. So what you do here is unfreeze the panes, select wherever you want to scroll from, and then say freeze panes. So I can scroll up and I can scroll left. Ooh, now that's easy. So possibly you're going to make more things to do, and you want to add a deadline for each action. For example, Tuesday, Thursday, etc., Wednesday, Saturday, whatever. Maybe you want to add a time, and when you've done that, you can add a filter here. So I've already added a filter. What you do, if you want to add a filter, you head over to the last cell of the row. So for example, this is D1, and then you say filter. What it does then is you can filter, really. You unselect, and then for example, you select Saturday. So when it's Saturday, you go to your to-do list and you see, oh, this is what I have to do today. And if you add times, then there's your planning. So I find this really easy. And that's it.